everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep today.
Into
the story of Julian Nom.
Okay.
This guy's a software engineer who built this super successful app. It's called Notion Forms. And get this, he built the whole thing in just 6 days.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty amazing, right?
6 days.
I know, and it's making him some serious cash now, like $400,000 a year.
Seriously. That's incredible.
I know. So we're going to trace his journey from the initial idea, all the way to profit. We'll uncover his strategies.
Yeah.
Try to pull out some golden nuggets of wisdom, stuff you guys can actually use for your own projects.
That's what I love about these deep dives. You always walk away with something you can apply.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not just about being impressed by these success stories.
Right.
It's about understanding how they did it so you can, maybe do it too.
Totally. And what's really interesting about Julian's story?
What's that?
It shows how success in this space, it's not just about tech skills.
Right.
It's about this whole blend of finding a real need out there.
A problem to solve.
Exactly. Building something people actually want.
Yeah.
And then getting the word out effectively, marketing it, right?
Finding the right people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Julian,
Okay.
he's 28 years old.
Okay.
And he's built up Notion Forms to almost 100,000 users.
That's a lot of users?
It is. And the crazy thing is it brings in $37,000 every single month.
Monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah, MRR. That's like the holy grail, right?
Oh, yeah, predictable income.
Exactly.
Makes a huge difference.
For any business, especially one he built in less than a week.
I know. Less than a week.
It's mind-blowing.
It's crazy, right? I mean, that just shows you the power of
the MVP approach.
Yeah, the minimum viable product. Get it out there fast.
Exactly. Fail fast, learn faster.
Yes. Test your idea, get feedback, and then keep improving.
Don't get bogged down in perfection. Just get it out there. So tell me a bit more about how Notion Forms came to be. What was the spark?
So Julian was a Notion user himself, a hardcore Notion fan.
Oh.
Loved the platform, but
there's always a but, right?
He was frustrated with the lack of, form functionality.
Oh, I see.
He needed forms for his projects, but Notion didn't have a good way to do it.
So he was basically his own target audience?
Exactly.
That makes sense.
He felt the pain point himself.
Right.
And instead of waiting for someone else to solve it,
he took action.
Yeah. I love that.
And what's really clever here, he didn't try to build a whole new platform. He built Notion Forms on top of Notion.
Right. Piggybacking on an existing platform.
And
that's brilliant, especially for a solo entrepreneur.
Huge time saver.
So less marketing, right? Because Notion already has this massive user base,
exactly,
ready-made audience. He didn't have to convince people to switch to something totally new.
They were already using Notion. Yeah, it's like setting up shop right next to, I don't know, a bustling supermarket or something.
I like that analogy.
So, there's already traffic.
Foot traffic?
Now, I think we've all had those moments where we think, man, I wish there was an app for that.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
But Julian actually went ahead and did it, turned his frustration into a product. You think that's a key ingredient to his success?
Absolutely. Solving a problem he personally understood.
Right.
But that's not all.
Okay.
He has this whole system for finding ideas. He talks to people in industries to see what frustrates them.
Interesting.
He looks for things people do over and over.
Repetitive tasks.
Yeah, things that could be automated with software.
Makes sense.
And he's very active on social media.
Oh, like Twitter.
Yeah, especially Twitter, to see what people are buzzing about.
So it's a combination of personal experience and actively searching out problem.
Right, not just waiting for inspiration to strike.
Proactive.
Yeah, proactive.
And this helps him make sure he's not just coming up with any old idea,
right,
but an idea that a lot of people actually care about.
Exactly.
An idea with potential.
Potential to become a real business.
Yeah, something sustainable.
Exactly.
Okay, so he has this great idea, right? He knows his audience.
Yeah.
Built the MVP fast. So then what? How did he get the word out about Notion Forms?
Well, this is where his marketing gets really interesting. He didn't do big ad campaigns or anything like that.
Right, traditional marketing.
Yeah, he knew exactly where his audience was.
Online communities.
Exactly. So he went straight to them.
Makes sense. Find the people who are already talking about Notion, looking for solutions like this.
Exactly. So he's on Reddit, in the Notion subreddits,
right,
the Facebook groups about productivity and Notion.
Yeah.
And he was super active on Twitter.
Engaging with people.
Especially those Notion influencers.
Smart.
Yeah. And it was way cheaper than traditional advertising.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he could really position Notion Forms as the answer
to a problem they already had.
They were already talking about it.
So he was adding value to the conversation.
Exactly.
Shouting, hey, buy my product.
Yeah, no spam.
Did that lead to any unexpected benefits?
It did, actually. This whole community focus
led
to this really cool viral growth loop.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
So when someone made a form with Notion Forms,
Yep.
the link to that form, it had a little Notion Forms branding in it.
I see.
So when people shared their forms...
They were also kind of spreading the word about Notion Forms.
Exactly. Built-in word of mouth.
Clever. So every user is like a potential advocate.
Yeah, very organic growth.
Did he just stick with that, or did he try other things to get users too?
Mostly organic, especially at the beginning.
Okay.
It worked so well.
Yeah.
He built a big user base without spending much on ads. Eventually, he did experiment a little with Google Ads.
Oh?
Spending like $3,000 a month.
To reach even more people?
Yeah, but the core was always that community.
The community-driven approach.
Yeah, it's about building those relationships.
Okay, so let's talk about the money part. How did he go from free to paid?
Monetization.
Yeah, that could be tricky, right? Especially when people are getting something for free.
It is, but Julian was really strategic. At first, Notion Forms was totally free. But he had certain features marked as core.
Oh, so people could see what they were missing.
Yeah, they got a taste of the full app.
And then they'd want to upgrade.
Exactly.
Did he lose a lot of users when he started charging?
There's always a risk, but he did something really smart.
What's that?
He offered a lifetime discount
Oh, wow.
to everyone who signed up during the free period.
That's a great way to reward those early adopters.
Yeah, it made the transition smoother.
Keep people happy.
Yeah, so how did he figure out the pricing?
Yeah, did he just pick a number and stick with it?
No, he was very deliberate about it.
Okay.
He started lower than his competitors.
To get people in the door.
Yeah, make it a no-brainer.
Smart.
And then as Notion Forms got more popular and he added more features, he gradually raised prices. He even introduced higher tier plans.
For power users.
Yeah, the ones who needed more.
So it was always evolving.
Yeah, constantly iterating.
Like that fail fast thing.
Exactly.
But with pricing,
it's about finding the sweet spot.
Yeah, where you're making money.
But not scaring people off.
This all sounds very intentional.
It is.
Building a sustainable business.
From day one.
And a key part of that, right?
Yeah.
Is recurring revenue.
We talked about it a bit earlier.
Yeah, subscriptions.
But it's so important.
For a solo operation especially.
Yeah.
Why is that? What's so good about the subscriptions?
Predictability.
Okay.
You know, when the money is coming in.
Makes planning easier.
So much easier. You can forecast, invest back in the business.
Right.
Make smarter decisions.
It's like a steady paycheck instead of those one-off gigs.
Exactly.
You know, you're not going to get those random dry spells.
Yeah, subscriptions are a safety net.
Especially if the economy takes a dip.
Yeah, you've got that consistent income.
Makes a huge difference.
It's worth the effort to set it up.
So Julian was thinking long-term.
Absolutely.
Building something that could last.
That's the goal.
Okay, so we've covered the market validation.
Yeah.
The marketing, the money stuff. Now let's get technical.
All right.
What's the tech behind Notion Forms?
What's powering the magic?
Yeah, what's the secret sauce? So much goes into building a successful app, right?
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah, tell me about Julian's tech stack. Now, for our listeners who might not be super techie, a tech stack is basically like the toolkit.
Yeah.
The languages, the framework.
The building blocks of the app.
Exactly. So what's Julian working with?
Well, he's got a really interesting approach. He keeps it streamlined.
Okay.
Uses the same core technologies across all his projects.
So he's not jumping around learning something new every time.
Right. He's mastered a set of tools.
And he can apply them to different things.
Yeah, exactly. So he can reuse code,
efficient.
Templates, even whole modules from past projects.
Saves a ton of time.
Especially for a solo developer.
Yeah, makes sense. So what's in this toolkit?
For the backend, he uses Laravel.
Okay.
It's a PHP framework.
I know some of our listeners might not be developers.
Right.
So what's a framework in simple terms?
Think of it like a pre-built structure for building the app.
Like a foundation.
Yeah, it has ready-made components, libraries, guidelines.
So you're not starting from scratch.
Exactly. Laravel helps him focus on the unique stuff.
The stuff that makes Notion Forms special.
Yeah, without having to reinvent the wheel.
Got it. And for the database.
PostgreSQL.
Okay, and that's where all the app's data is stored.
Yeah, user information, form data, all that.
It's got to be reliable, right?
PostgreSQL is known for that.
Rock solid.
Yeah, a good choice.
Yeah, you need somewhere to host the app, right?
You need a server.
So it could be online.
Julian uses AWS for that.
Amazon Web Services?
Yeah, it's a cloud computing platform. It handles the servers, storage, networking.
Everything.
And it's really scalable.
So it can grow with Notion Forms.
As more users come on board.
No problem.
Exactly. He's chosen tools that can handle growth.
No, we talked a bit about AI earlier. How's he using that?
He's really into AI for productivity.
Yeah, the Cursor ID, right?
That's the one.
Claims it's doubled his coding skill.
It's like having an AI pair programmer.
Wow, tell me more about that.
So as he's coding, Cursor suggests code snippets.
Like autocomplete, but for code?
Yeah, but way more advanced.
Okay.
It can even suggest whole functions.
No way.
Yeah, and it helps him find and fix bugs, too.
Oh, nice. So it's not just about speed.
It's about quality, too.
Writing better code?
Yeah, more efficient, more readable.
It's amazing how AI is changing things.
It really is. It's making it possible
for solo developers to do so much more.
Yeah, build things that used to take a whole team.
So what other tools are in his arsenal?
For payments, he uses Stripe.
Stripe's popular?
Yeah, it's secure.
Essential for handling subscription.
Exactly.
What about understanding how people use Notion forms?
He uses Amplitude for that.
Analytics?
Yeah, it tracks user behavior.
So he can see what features people are using?
Identify any problems.
And then make improvements?
Based on real data.
Not just guessing?
Exactly.
Now what happens when users need help?
He uses Crisp for that.
Okay.
It's a live chat tool.
So he can answer questions in real time?
Yeah, provide quick support.
That personal touch.
And he also has an AI chatbot.
Oh, cool. For the common questions?
Yeah, the stuff that gets asked a lot.
Frees him time.
Frees him up to focus on the tougher stuff.
Makes sense. And bugs, those are inevitable, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
What does he use for that?
Sentry.
Sentry for bug tracking.
It helps him identify and fix errors.
Keeps the app running smoothly?
As much as possible.
Okay, so payments, analytics, support, bug talking. Anything else?
He does a little bit of Google ads, too.
Oh, right. We talked about that.
Just to boost his reach.
So a mix of organic and paid marketing.
Yeah, finding what works best.
This has been super insightful.
I'm glad.
To see how he uses tech to build this business.
It's pretty impressive.
All on his own.
It shows what's possible.
So as we wrap up our deep dive on Julian and Notion forms,
yeah,
what are the key takeaways here?
Well, first, solve real problems. Don't build something just because you think it's cool.
Find a pain point, like Julian did.
Yeah, a problem you understand.
And make life easier for people.
Exactly.
And leverage existing platforms.
Notion.
Yeah, tap into that user base.
It's a huge advantage.
And don't forget about marketing.
Be creative.
Build relationships.
Like Julian did in those communities.
Add value to the conversation.
Yeah, don't just spam people.
And launch early, right?
The M-feed.
Get feedback.
Iterate, improve.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Learn from your mistakes.
And think about recurring revenue.
Subscriptions.
Yeah, that steady income.
It makes a big difference.
Choose your tech stack wisely.
Find the tools that work for you.
And embrace new tech.
Like AI.
It could be a game changer.
It definitely was for Julian.
Julian's story is so inspiring, right?
Yeah, it shows you don't need a big team.
Or tons of money.
Just focus, strategy, and hustle.
You can build something amazing.
Absolutely.
So to all our listeners out there, I hope this deep dive has got those wheels turning.
Yeah, get those ideas flowing.
Start building, keep learning, and who knows?
Maybe you'll be our next deep dive.
That's right. Until next time.